Hi, welcome back to part 3 of Introduction to Library Research for Psychology students. So now you've got how to find the library website, how to find contact information for help. You've got 3 databases that you can search for information that are superior to Wikipedia or Google. Now I want to show you how to format your citations and use APA style to cite your sources. So on our psychology guide, I have a link to an APA 7 citation style guide. Now, APA is the publication manual of the American Psychological Association, and it's the way in which scholars in psychology format their work, and it's a formatted, structured way of communication. They have an actual book, and we have a copy in the library, and this is what it looks like. But I've summarized the major citation types that you will encounter as a student in here. So I've got different types of books, and we separate them by how many authors have written on the book, and we have citations for journals. Again, it depends on how many authors. And then we have websites and social media, and miscellany includes videos. But you'll probably be using just books and articles, maybe some websites. So we've already got our citations from the databases, and we've copied and pasted them into our database in here. Now, you might have to do some formatting to them, like make sure they're in the right font, and make sure that the authors' names are in the right order, and that they're in alphabetical order. They're listed in alphabetical order, so I'm going to quickly make mine in alphabetical order so that it's correct. And I'm also going to put it all in the same font, which I think is Times New Roman, if I'm not mistaken, or Arial I think is also acceptable. Your citations should all be in 12-point font, so we'll pick that 12-point font, and then actually probably 11 for Arial, and then they should also be double spaced as I've got here, and then you need to use your hanging indentation, which is you put the first line of each citation should be up on the 1-inch margin, and then each line after it should be indented 1/2 inch. In order to do that in Google Docs, you would highlight the citation and go to Format, Align and Indent, and then go down to Indentation Options, and it's here under Special Indent under Hanging, and you should set this to 0.5. Hit Apply. So that's how to format these. Now, each one of your citations should also appear or be referenced or mentioned in the text of your paper. So let's say I want to cite this author here in the text of my paper. So I have some gibberish text here. So let's say I wanted to just paraphrase, where I'm taking the author's words and restating them as my own. And I want to indicate that this is not my idea, but it is somebody else's. So at the end of the sentence, before the punctuation, you put a space and an open bracket. Then you're going to put the author's last name, a comma, space, and the year of publication. And then you're going to close the bracket and include the punctuation. So that's a paraphrase of this author. Now, what if I had a quotation? So in order to indicate that I've directly copied text from the author, I would start with putting quotes around the text. And again, I would do the same thing, author's last name, comma, year of publication, and then you put a page number. So you would do comma, P, period, and then indicate what page you got it from. And then close your bracket and put a period. Now, sometimes you don't have page numbers. If you don't have a page number, it is acceptable to leave that out. Now, what if you had a source with 2 authors, which I believe we do in this case. So if you have more than one author, you would your citation, your in-text citation would be the author's, the two authors' last names, like this, and you would put an ampersand, which is on my keyboard it's Shift-7. And let's say we just had two authors. And then you would put a comma and the year of publication. Just going forward in time. So that's if you had two authors. But this particular citation has three. So in the case, in the case of two or more authors, three or more authors, you would put, you don't have to list them all, you would put the letters ET, space AL, period, comma, and then the year of publication. Et al. Is a short form for a Latin phrase meaning and others. So for this particular citation, you would write it out this way. You would put the first author's name and et al. So on this guide, I've summarized the lists of the rules for formatting your reference page. For example, we have to double space our references. They have to be in alphabetical order. Don't number them. And do your hanging indent. I also have the rules for doing parenthetical or in-text citations. So I would encourage you to read through this and before you start doing your in-text citations. That way you'll have a better idea of how to do each one of them. And then also want to mention that there should be a one-to-one relationship between everything that's on your works cited page and the references you make in the text. So all of these citations that I have on my reference page, each one of them should be mentioned somewhere in my paper. And then every reference that every source that I reference in my paper should be mentioned on the reference page. All right, if you have any questions at all about APA citation style, please reach out to me. You might want to look through these other resources for APA style. I have a student paper setup guide where you can see a sample student paper, and some of these can be very useful to you. So again, my contact information is on this guide, and if you have any questions, please reach out. And again, I apologize for my voice.